You're listening to Wicked Thoughts, a podcast by Fleire Castro, founder of DashoContent. This show is dedicated to helping founders and professionals understand business trends, digital marketing, and how to be a better entrepreneur. In Season 6, we dive into a dash of AI in marketing, exploring how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the marketing landscape. From automation to personalization, we'll uncover the impact of AI on marketing strategies and execution. Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Dash Ed and Wicked Thoughts webinar and podcast series. For Season 6, we are tackling AI and marketing. So again, I'm Fleire Castro, your host, founder and CEO of DashoContent. And with me, of course, you've met her, my co-host, Miss Charlene, the Chief of Staff of DashoContent. So what is DashoContent? DashoContent is a content subscription platform and AI marketing company. So we help marketing teams, we help startup founders supercharge storytelling for their brands, whether it be processes, tools, or a content team that they need to supercharge their digital marketing. So what is Dash Ed? So again, Dash Ed is our education arm. And Wicked Thoughts is also my personal podcast. So I'm pretty happy to put together both the webinar and the podcast in one series altogether. We thought that combining both initiatives would help champion, especially the Philippines, to be the top AI and marketing location in Southeast Asia. So without further delay, let me quickly introduce our guest today, Miss Celine Francisco. Miss Celine, thank you and welcome to Dash Ed and Wicked Thoughts. Miss Celine here, I'll quickly go through her bio. She's a content marketer, strategist, educator, and wellness advocate. Miss Celine, I'll leave you to introduce the rest yourself. Welcome.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or
Hi, Miss
good
Celine.
evening, good morning, wherever you are. Baka may international audience po tayo dito. So I'm really blessed to be here. Super thankful to Dasho Content for inviting me, to Miss Fleire, to Miss Charlene, to the team. Hi, everyone. And of course, to our live audience, to our listeners then on our different platforms. Hi. So yeah, as Miss Fleire mentioned, I'm a content marketer. And allow me to share my screen. This is basically an overview of content strategy, specifically here in the age of AI. But first things first, allow me to talk a little bit about myself. I'm Celine Bernadette Francisco. Currently, I'm a content agency founder and an educator, a marketer by profession as well. I'm helping out different companies and individuals, brands, with their content marketing, with their content strategy, and content write-ups. What led me to this profession would be my inspiration, which is helping out different brands with their content. So I love writing. I love writing in general. Maybe that's why I was led to discerning that this is the perfect or maybe something that I enjoy doing. And so, yeah, for several years, for more than 10 years already, I've been into internet marketing, to content writing. And then later on, I discovered that content strategy is really a good field to study. And so now we are in the age of AI and it's really evolving. So yeah, let's dive right into it. Yeah. So what is content strategy? Content strategy, as mentioned by Chantal McGee, is all about the science behind storytelling. So we all know that storytelling is really a buzzword these days. A lot of brands, a lot of gurus are mentioning storytelling, how storytelling is really beneficial to brands. But there is the science to it, which is content strategy. It's a systematic, if you know science, it's a systematic way of doing things. And so content strategy is putting that system into storytelling to make it more effective. Another thing about content strategy is that it's all about people, technology, process. Content lives at the intersection of people, technology, and process. So whenever we create our strategies, we are considering that we are also talking about two different kinds of people, looking at their state of mind, their aspirations, inspirations, and human qualities. And of course, looking at the process, reaching these people at the right time. And of course, technology. It's a very, very important factor as we conduct our process from planning to evaluation. Here's an example of a campaign that we are maybe familiar with. If we're using Spotify, perhaps Wrapped. Yeah. And so just to give an example, no, here's Spotify's Wrapped. It's a very nice campaign. Maybe you've been checking out your Wrapped for several years already. Whenever there is like end of the year, we can have a curation of what playlists we like, which artists really hit our playlist. So yeah, it's an application of technology to our content marketing, our marketing strategies. Another cool thing, of course, we are all familiar with ChatGPT, no? With ChatGPT, we can do a lot of things. And in content strategy, there's no limit. Like, you can almost do everything with this platform. Like a while ago, I was thinking of topics. I was thinking of ideas for us to help our clients with their like editorial calendar, their content calendar, social media calendar. And so I just typed in a prompt on ChatGPT and it delivered to me answers that really help. And if I wanted more specific for a particular audience, then I can just make it more customized to what I am really looking for. So I think that's the benefit of working with technology like AI. Whenever we have content strategy and whenever we are thinking of ways to help our clients. So yeah, that's one example. But why content strategy? Why do we need to implement it in our businesses? First, it helps get the right message to the right customer at the right time. It allows us to give value, more based on the customer value journey, which we will also tackle a bit later. Content strategy is really helpful in terms of who we are helping, such as what we call the 4 keys of content strategy. When we are talking about our target market, learning more about the buyer, then we would also like to get to know them first before anything else, just like their pain points, their challenges. Another is how to help them be better than their competitors. In this case, we also want to help them have their unique selling proposition. No? And then third is how to create content that reaches their audience. Content strategy is also about implementation. So it's from planning to evaluation, right? And then knowing why we create content by analyzing, auditing, updating, and measuring. At the end of the day, if we don't meet results, then our efforts might be futile. So content strategy would also have a great impact if we are measuring our results using AI as well and in other technologies.
Miss Celine, I have a question.
Sure,
So,
Miss.
for example, if a brand or your customer does not have any of these profiles, like who, how, why, what would you suggest if they want to do it DIY?
To start, if they still don't have any of these, they can of course do
Yeah.
it step by step. Like
Mm-mm.
brainstorming first. If they have a team or if they're a solopreneur,
Yeah.
then they can first, of course, there are tools everywhere. There are free or paid tools, and then they have their available knowledge already. So brainstorm first.
So
Uh,
it's a must-have. Like you have to have all these profiles. What if they tell you that their customer is everyone? Kasi 'di ba, some of them would say, "Oh, who is your target customer?" And then their reply would be, "Just about everyone." How do you manage that?
well, in like creating a buyer persona,
Yeah.
experts really recommend that we have a targeted approach to determining our customer. Though everyone might seem okay, but the results would most likely beg to differ.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-mm. Kasi
Okay.
if you're talking to everyone, parang you're all over the place. It's
Parang
scattered.
carpet bombing, no? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-mm.
everyone is your target. So you wouldn't advise that. You want them to have a target persona, very laser focused before you create any content at all.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really important that we are specific with our intentions, just like in anything, even in content strategy. Yeah. So just to emphasize, this diagram, this concept was from Julia McCoy. Yan. She's one of my role models in terms of content strategy. I really love her content. So it's been my go-to resource for the past years. And she keeps on evolving naman. Her content right now is really all about AI too. Also an example, this one is a content marketing campaign of Airbnb. If you're familiar with quizzes, if you've been taking quizzes online, or if you're developing quizzes, then this is one great example. Like asking the audience, what's your design personality? That's what Airbnb did. And it worked because they know their customers. They know what makes them tick, right? So this is one example. And of course, it also makes use of technology. And here is an AI tool naman that I I was um, interested in because it's all about market research, learning about customers, and yeah, from Brand Watch. So they can help you like get to know your target market, their interests. Of course, they have these visuals that you can check out, and yeah.
Is it free lang ba, Miss Celine? This
Um,
one, AI tool.
this one is they have a paid and then they have demos then.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's interesting kasi when we talk of our target market or like learning more about what they want, yun yung challenge eh. If you don't have the budget at first, of course you can DIY, but later on, when things progress, you can already engage with these tools, right? Ayan. And of course, it's one of my favorites. Ayan, Dasho AI. Syempre
Uy,
po.
na-mention.
Mm-mm. Yan. Kasi we are all all about content creation, yan. Content strategy, content marketing. So what a better way to get a lot of these tools in one platform, right? So, ayan, this
Thanks
is
for mentioning nito, Miss Celine. This is actually free, if I could plug. This is
yeah.
free. Yeah, so up to several tokens and then you can try it out. Tapos if you reach dun sa limit of tokens, then you can upgrade to a paid version, o 'di ba? You guys can
Mm-mm.
try it out. Kasi we're all about AI eh. Might as well help those who are interested in testing it out. So yeah, Dasho AI. Thanks for mentioning this, Miss Celine.
Sure, miss. I really love din kasi talaga Dasho. Everything about Dasho is really meaningful. So, yan. When I encountered Dasho AI and learned about like yung mga ano nila, Instagram captions and yung kasi ideation in the part of content strategy wherein we are thinking of topics. Yan, very crucial yan eh. Our brands, the clients we work with, they want engaging headlines. They want engaging copy, content.
And
If,
I think if I
Mhm.
could add, sorry, Miss Celine, if I could
Yeah.
add, kasi when you use ChatGPT, the tool would expect you to know what to actually type, di ba? If you're
Yeah.
using an AI tool, they would expect you to know the prompts that would encourage the tool to write or produce an output that's aligned to your brand. But with Dasho AI, you don't have to write the prompts. You actually just have to click which tool you need and then input a few more words to really customize it. And then it would create the generated content for you. Yun.
Yeah, that's what's really cool about it then. And of course, yun, there are other tools that we can explore here. Ayan, I'll leave Miss Flair to it maybe later if we have more time po. Ayan. Let's now talk about the customer value journey as promised a while ago. This concept is from Digital Marketer. So in the pandemic, the high days of the pandemic, we have a like more time and more resources to really or starting to engage into online learning. So Digital Marketer uh, joined the bandwagon and they offered such courses that time free or for a limited time na free siya. And I've learned there yung importance of the customer value journey nga. So it starts with awareness, of course, just like in everything. When a prospect sees your ad or hears about you via referral or another means or in another platform, of course, you want to build awareness. And then when they learn more about you, they read a blog, they engage on social media, they watch a video and others, that's the engage stage. And then they want to learn, of course, hear more about you, hear more from you. Then they subscribe, they opt in to receive gated content, what we usually call lead magnets. And then they make a purchase or schedule a demo. So that's the convert stage. And they want more. They keep on wanting more. So that's the excite stage. They get value from you from the initial transaction. And after that, you want them to like go up the ladder and then go through the ascent stage. You can then upsell and then offer your core offer. Ayan. After that, you want them to be advocates or brand evangelists. And you want them to give us a testimonial or a case study that your product or service really works. And then they refer you now to their friends. That's promote. Yeah, the last stage. That's how we want our brands to be like, right? So from awareness to promotion.
So Miss Celine,
Mm-mm.
is it going to be the same if you are a B2B or a B2C business? Is the customer journey the same for both models?
Yes, miss. It's both applicable to B2C, B2B.
I see.
Mm-mm. Maraming there are other frameworks, but the thing is, if you're also familiar with the funnel, it's also like
Right.
this.
Yeah.
It just so happens that the flow is like a ladder or it's ascending, no? Yan. But the concept is pretty much the same. So nag-iiba-iba lang din siya depending on the other stages that we can add to it. But I think this is
Right,
the
right.
most elaborate diagram
Yeah.
here. An example, now when I think of, for instance, the stage of case studies, this is one example of a campaign that tackles such. No? So there is a campaign by Apple, Dear Apple, wherein their clients who bought the Apple Watch sent in their testimonials of how the Apple Watch helped them during emergencies or in different scenarios. So that's why it's Dear Apple, like a letter, right? So this is one example of tuning in to your customers' current stage in the funnel. Yeah. And then an AI tool naman to automate customer journey would be Twilio segment. So here is a flow. Like if you want to really customize the journey and send out messages in different platforms and then get to know how you can approach such scenarios. So like if did not purchase in the last 3 months, or if they viewed the site last month, yeah, if it's yes or no, what do we do? So yeah, it helps automate this process. Ayan. So just to recap, content strategy is all about these processes. When you create, you research, you measure, you promote, you publish, and then you optimize your content until you evaluate if it's working. And then you add in technology, people, process. So it makes it more meaningful, makes it more beneficial, impactful. Yeah. So the challenge would be to get the return you demand for your investment, of course. With content marketing or content strategy being a multi-million industry, a field that keeps on growing, you want to get the return you demand for your investment. So that's why we need to research, create, we need to observe, to measure, and then if it does not work, tweak, and then repeat the process. With, of course, utilizing technology well, being more efficient and effective in the process. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, and feel free to let us know. Of course, you can connect with me.
Thanks, Miss
Yeah.
Celine. Baka si Miss
Awesome.
Charlene may question about
Yeah.
using AI. Oh, in content strat.
Actually, yeah, more on content strat as a whole. Because I see, for the benefit of our listeners and our live audience as well, I think some of you, for sure, some of you are business owners. You own, you have your own brands. What are the repercussions? What are the consequences? What are the consequences of not having a content strategy in place?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that, Miss Shirley. If we don't have a content strategy for our brands or for the brands we help, we tend to get lost. Although okay lang naman na maging parang so spontaneous. But it helps to have a framework of how we do things, especially in marketing. And of course, right now, we have a lot of engagements or initiatives wherein we have this on social media, on our website, ads, and everything. These are all content pieces. And of course, without any plan, just like in anything, most likely it will not end up the way we wanted because, of course,
So
we
parang
don't have
spray and pray. If you don't have content strategy, it's going to be just an experiment, kumbaga.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Parang ganon. It's also, although may part naman nga na tweaking. If it does not work, then yeah, we can tweak and see what
Start all over
happens.
again.
But
Parang start all over again.
yeah,
No?
but to avoid that, better if we really have a strategy na ahead.
Ganon. Yeah, I agree with you. Pero how about for AI, Miss Celine? You already mentioned you use ChatGPT, but what specific steps in the whole content strategy creation process that you actually love the output of AI? Which parts of that?
I love the like ideation phase, like
Yeah.
helping us out in thinking of topics and like researching for different angles,
Yeah.
even the headlines. That's one of my favorites too.
Headlines, the topic creation, content pillars. I don't know if you still use content pillars for your customers, but they're also very helpful. What kind of other models, Miss Celine, would you encourage the marketers or the business owners here, um, who are not really familiar with the whole, the whole, the one you showed, yung all the framework and steps? What other models can they follow? Can it be as simple as the AIDA, for example?
Yes, yes. IDA is really the foundation. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, that would also help if we like for instance, awareness, interest, desire, and action. So yeah.
Mm-mm.
I feel like we discussed this I think yesterday or a couple of days ago, Miss F. I feel like there's no with AI and with all the technology that we have, I feel like there's no more excuse to not have a content strategy.
Exactly.
Um
Right.
like you can use it literally, as you mentioned, Miss Celine, from the ideation phase to, I don't know, brainstorming about who your target market, who your target audience is. You can use that as well, and then of course using it in the actual creation of content. um yeah, so I mean, if I were to ask every single listener, every live audience here, I'm sure everyone is using ChatGPT, or a tool similar to that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, a lot
Other
of
than other than ChatGPT, what other tools do you use, Miss Celine, for brainstorming or ideation?
one of them in the past, not just AI, but in terms of like
Yeah.
other platforms. Um, I've tried yung mga keyword research tools
Mhm.
because of course we want to integrate search engine optimization with the content we are creating.
Right. Yeah.
And so
Mm-mm.
a lot of them, there are lots of them. There are plugins on Chrome, yan, Google Chrome plugins. There are lots like keywords everywhere. There's like paid tools that are really helpful, like
SEMrush.
SEMrush. Yeah,
Expensive, di ba?
yeah, a lot of them would help also identify the trends. Yung iba naman like BuzzSumo and a lot of yung mga social listening tools natin. Like we get to know what what our customers are talking about. So
Yeah.
whenever they type our keywords or type our brands, ayan, it will pop up in the dashboard of that platform.
True. And if I could add, if you guys are still curious about what keywords to use, I would encourage you as well to look at or to look into the keywords planner of Google Ads. It's an underutilized tool, I would say, but you can always start there. Like if you're curious about what other keywords might be related to one that you want to position for, you can try keywords planner. Di ba, Miss Celine? So you can input it there, you can find other keywords related, and then you can see if other brands are actually bidding for it. So it's like far from content strat, but just an add-on. If you also want to do search engine marketing and SEO, you can look at the keywords planner. Kasi that would be a helpful tool for business owners, especially if you're still starting out with figuring out your whole content strategy. You can start there. What keywords you want to bid for, and then eventually you can see how much and what the volume of search would look like. And then if you decide to really run ads, you can see how much it would cost you to do such investment.
Yeah, that's true, Miss. A lot of content strategy rin is also about sabi nga ideation, planning. And so we want to incorporate keywords. So
Yeah.
ano na siya, part and parcel na of the whole thing.
And I remember also Miss Celine whenever, kasi Miss Celine here, to be transparent to everyone, she's working with DashoContent on, I think, a couple of customers and focusing more on content strategy. That's why we invited her to be one of the guests here with our webinar and podcast series to share some of the tools, tips, tricks that she can impart to us regarding content strategy. And I remember, Miss Celine, whenever we create a content strat, one of the things we look for is always the SEO status or the keywords of these companies. And then I realized not a lot of them actually do SEO. Parang their starting point is a content strat. Like they can't even, some of them don't even know if they have a target buyer persona. Diba? That's very basic. So they don't have a buyer persona. And then when you ask them, do you have SEO in place? Do you have target keywords? And then they would say no. Diba? How are these
Ayun.
frustrations in content research affecting how you produce the content strat every month?
First of all, ano kasi siya, sayang. Parang when you do yung efforts mo day one, tapos wala ka pang idea what keywords you are targeting or which, although you might know, okay, we will write something that will resonate with our
Yeah.
audience. Pero ano kasi siya, parang it's sayang because you are not making the most out of your um resources as a brand. So better yet, 'di ba, people are searching not just on Google, Facebook, on Instagram or wherever. So lahat naman 'yan has may algorithm sila that those spiders crawling on the internet are looking at. And yung codes na 'yan, when they see those keywords na nandun, then beneficial talaga yun for your brand. You might not know yung audience mo pala are not searching just for what you're thinking of. So
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
proper research, baka hindi sila mapunta dun sa gusto mong puntahan nila na page. So yun.
So a huge component of it would be research. I think we have a question here from Kofi. You might want to address it. So if I'm a content writer aiming to learn about content strategy, where do I start? If I don't want to rely on AI, what is your advice?
All right, ayan, very nice. But because yun nga, I was just want to share back in the like late 2000, I started kasi freelancing for instance 2009 eh. And that time I was focusing mostly on ano lang freelance writing like web content writing,
Yeah.
SEO writing to be exact. So in the process when I learned that there is the thing called content strategy, I started by, of course, well, aside from researching, reading about it, how can I integrate content or yung writing dun sa strategy? Why is it important that we have a really nice write-up for our marketing, no? For our materials and the whole picture ng marketing for the brand you're helping, for instance. Ideation, for instance, you do the manual thing, the manual process.
Manual step-by-step lahat.
Yeah.
Research, understanding the customers, understanding. And this is also something that I shared with the team. If you remember, guys, internally, sabi ko, it's not really just simply creating content. If a customer asks you for, let's say, 500 words worth of content for their website, and then you just start creating without any background knowledge of the company, and then you have to know the brand, and then you have to know the product that you're trying to promote on your blog post. Di ba? It's that in-depth knowledge that you really have to put together once you start creating content strategy. And I don't know if Miss Celine, you agree with that, but I feel like the whole content strat, it really requires you to fall in love with not just the product itself, but the brand, the company, and even the whole industry. Because how
Yeah.
can you write if you don't understand the industry? How can you write if you don't understand the niche? So I feel like content strat is very, I would say, complicated in a way. Even without AI, it's in itself already overwhelming. If you don't fall in love with the niche, you don't fall in love with the company, the brand, the product, you won't be able to write.
True, yes. Without understanding first, yan, yung audience mo, your
Yeah.
your industry, everything, the platforms even, like how to deal with those platforms, like how or when or how often. Ayan, yan yung mga questions, right?
True, tama, no? That's the component pala. So you also still have to understand the platform, how to hack their algorithms. Ano pa ba,
Yes.
Miss Charlene? What did we monitor pa? Aside from
On
that?
algorithms pa, it keeps
Yeah.
on changing, evolving. I feel like
Oh
every
my
few
gosh.
months, diba? But
Yeah.
yeah, that's something we're working also on internally. Is really understanding each channel that we are publishing on. Currently, also to share, we're really working on repurposing content and recycling content, but not just reposting it or just resharing it, but turning it into another piece of content for a different channel or platform, right? So for example, you have a blog post. What can you do with that blog post? Sayang naman, we just leave it there on
Yeah.
the on the website, right? Just to be forgotten.
Yeah.
So what can we do? We can turn it into a Facebook carousel post. We can turn it into an Instagram carousel post. We can turn it into a story, a TikTok, a reel. So there's a lot. You're right, Miss. Both of you, you're right. There's a lot to think about in terms of content strategy, but it's really important to have just at least start with, of course, the research, the competitors,
Yeah. Yeah.
analysis. That's also super duper important. Learn about the industry, of course, the niche, but I mean, and then having your target market, your brand persona. That's already a good starting point for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Understand.
from there, yeah, and then from there, improve, tweak, add to it. Yeah, that's how I
And
see it.
Coffee
Yes.
had a follow-up question as well, with the client brief help. Yeah,
Oh,
for us at
Yeah.
always.
Dasho, it does help. But let me tell you that some of the customers or some of the leads won't even fill up a client brief. They'd be
Mm-mm.
like, let's schedule a call. I'll dump on you all my problems on marketing. And I want you to figure out from there what we want. Di ba? I don't know if you guys encountered something like that, but I would want it that they have a client brief,
Yeah.
that they have a brand brief even. We ask that at DashoContent. So on our app, we um, require the users to fill up a whole brand brief, company profile brand brief. We ask them for assets. We ask them for their whole library as input. We ask them about their buyer persona, a lot of things about their brand just for intake, di ba? But sometimes it's not enough. I don't know, Miss Celine, how complete ba are your customers giving you the information?
Some of them are really helpful, or they have the info I want from them, but majority don't have. They
Di
want
ba?
they want
Oh,
us to provide them everything because that's why they hired us to help solve their problems. So
yeah. So it's on us to do the research. So if they don't give you the buyer persona, figure it out. If you don't know about the brand, well, we're gonna give you a few PDF documents. We're gonna give you our website, and that's it. And that's usually the case. But yeah,
yeah.
it would be a dream come true if you find a lead that has everything complete. They have, let's say, complete brand brief, a
Mhm.
complete Google Drive with all their assets, and then a complete, even a content calendar, right? If they
Yeah.
previously had a content calendar that can be used as an intake for you, because now you have an idea what previous topics they were able to approve, what kind of tone and brand voice to use on their content, what their target audiences are. Basically, ano yung na-approve nila before so that you can
Mm.
start tailor-fitting their next month's content ahead for them. Which leads us to the next question from Jada. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I would like to ask, how much time do you need to switch from one content strategy to another? How often do you need
Mm.
this, Miss Celine? Do you need to do this every month? Enough na ba per quarter lang? Yearly content strat? How is it?
Usually our strategies are reviewed, say, annually, but it would also be nice to check on them maybe per quarter, if that's how fast the industry changes, or your strategies need to be updated. Sometimes not as well, more than 1 year. Some strategies last longer. Yeah, so I guess that also depending on the goals of your brand. Kasi sometimes your brand would like want to have a facelift or
True.
parang yeah, you want to have a revamp. So from top to bottom, you want to also involve your strategy based on those factors.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
tama
you
yun.
need to give it some time, no, to see what kind of impact your strategy has. Checking your insights regularly, I know your website, from your website to, everything, all the platforms.
Yeah. So once you have a strategy, you let it simmer, you implement it, deploy your game plan, kumbaga, and then you start monitoring the numbers, whether it's working. So let's say if you started with just purely blog posts next month, and then when you monitor the number at the end of the month report, and then you saw that, well, people are not really picking up my blogs. Let's try adding, I don't know, short form videos next month, or let's do Instagram this time instead of just seeing on Facebook. Diba? So you really have to, I agree with you, Jada, evaluate first before you start changing your game plan. But to add as well, for us at Dasho, we do monthly content strat only because it ties up with the content calendar for the month. So when we say content strategy, it usually is aligned as well with the content calendar. And of course, every content calendar has to be refreshed every month. Diba? Para it doesn't get stale. Your themes are refreshed based on what priority promotions you have. March next month is Women's Month. So now you have to tailor fit your content calendar to align with that. If it helps you to promote to women, diba? So that one, for example, it would really change how you're doing the execution. But I agree, Miss Celine, like if only brands could stick to just one content strat every year, would be happy, because it's complicated work to do content strategy. But eventually, you still have to tailor fit based on the industry and based on the pace of development. And for example, as a startup, to add, it changes eh. You have to understand if there's product market fit, if the messaging resonated with the customers, diba? So all of these things you have to consider before you change up your content strategy.
Yes, that's really what we follow po in terms of how often.
Tama, sige. Do our participants have other questions related to content strat? Because if not, we're gonna geek out on AI. Kasi diba, it's AI in marketing. Like we said, content strat is kind of complicated. A lot of parts here, if we can automate it, it would be a dream come true with AI. Why not? Kung pwede nating i-AI yung research part or the creation of the whole, even the strat plan itself, or coming up with a brand voice because you asked AI to summarize their content and give me the top voices that they're using. Why not? In any step that we're doing content strategy, and then where AI can come in, that would be pretty helpful. So internally as well, we're trying to check every single step where we can automate or augment using AI. And Miss C, Christina has a question. You wanna?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, from Christina. How do you create your content strategy? What are the platforms you consider? Do you base your content strategy on your customer journey? And which platforms do you use on each phase? That's a loaded question.
Yeah, sige,
Thank you,
thank
Christina.
you.
Let's do this.
Isa-isahin natin.
Yes.
So how do we create, no? First, um, we have to have a dialogue with the client, or
Yeah.
if it's for a client. First of all, we have to have a list of questions for them to also help answer. Although if they don't have the time, then of course tayo na yun. Yung brainstorming part will be within the team na, the content team or the marketing team. And then brainstorming involves like, well, researching what we want to know about the customer. Ayan. about the industry, about the platforms we will use, um, targets, yon kasama na yon, objectives natin. Siyempre, we want to be guided. The metrics we want to serve as the baseline. Yan. As for the platform, siguro when creating the strategy, first of all, well, aside from the research, yung tools, yung mga AI tools na pwede natin gamitin or web platforms, if we want keyword research, then we can use such platforms. If we want yung ideation, then Google or even books. I love browsing books. I love I love books basically. Even kasi
Bookworm. Why not?
yeah, opo. I want kasi yung yung iba wala sa ano websites. They're exclusively found in books. And you get updated din naman. You get updated na like 2023, 2024 yung copyright. So, yun yung advantage. Because, hindi mo yan makikita unless you purchase the book. Or you get an ebook or what. Ayan. And then, of course, if you want to create na the content, if you are targeting to have AI help you, then yeah, you can also use such platforms like there's ChatGPT, there's Jasper, and a lot more. Yan. Yung iba, they're evolving. They don't just, like right now, we have Sora. Maybe Miss Flair will also talk about it later. So that's a game changer, diba? It will take time away from your creatives, no?
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
The
And then,
concepts can be done by these AI tools, diba?
yes, yung content creation part, of course, you can search for yung images or you can create images out of these tools. Just type in the prompt and then, yeah, nandun. And then, do you base your content strategy on your customer journey? Yes, important din siya. Like for instance, what type of content do we need to create? Because the current stage of the customer is still in the awareness, halimbawa. So, we know na halimbawa in that phase, blog muna tayo. Hindi muna natin siya bibigyan ng halimbawa case studies. Later on in the process, baka maghanap siya, does the product, does the service work? So, hainan na natin siya ngayon ng testimonials. And then later, yan. Yun yung depende na sa customer journey. Kasi what if the customer is still, yun nga, nasa earlier phases. So, hindi pa natin, wag tayo mag-rush dun sa process. Baka ma-overwhelm siya and yun, mag-X siya. Click X na lang. Ayun. And which platforms do we use? Ayan, depende rin. If email marketing na tayo because they want more nga, they want to subscribe or opt-in, then we can have an email marketing software. I personally, like right now, use Klaviyo. Yan, helpful yan for e-commerce. And then if halimbawa naman, before, meron pa yung, di ba, right now we still have MailChimp, yung mga
Classic.
classic na yan. A Weaver, yan, meron tayong mga classic platforms. Or dati meron pa nga tayo yung mga the article directories. I'm not sure if you encountered such, yung magsabit ka ng maraming
Submission,
articles
yeah.
there. Yeah, easy articles, yan, marami. Helium. Ngayon, wala na sila. They evolve, they maybe nag-close na or nag-innovate na to other platforms. Pero yun, depending on the phase of the customer journey and
Right, yeah.
your goals, the process you are in, and yung manpower, syempre, yung resources. But of course, you want to maximize them. So yeah.
Okay ba, Christina? Hope you were able to answer your question. Diba? Kasi, and it's also good that we have these conversations because I feel like for a lot of content strategists and content creators, there's a clamor now for opportunities to create content. I would even visit mga Facebook groups, Miss Celine, 'di ba? Ang dami ng social media marketers, ang dami ng article writers, but not a lot of them, I would say, know how to create the actual content strategy, which is more crucial than just simply spray and pray content creation. Okay, let's just make that 250 word blog post or article and then that's it. Diba? And the same thing for brands. They approach us, they would say, okay, let's go to Dasho, let's order an article, which was our model last year. Parang you can order per article piece of content. And then we shifted to a whole, I would say, all in, including content strat, because a lot of brands don't have that and then they start asking for articles. But they don't know, siguro at this point, that you actually have to do a lot more than just create content. You have to understand the ones that we discussed or we covered here, diba? You have to understand the customer, the industry, the brand itself, the products. So that effort alone, I feel like you have to have that before you start creating any type of content. Kahit ChatGPT pa yan na content, di ba? So, ayun, speaking of ChatGPT, what other tools can we use? Sa amin internally, what do we use, Miss C? Just ChatGPT ba? We use Notion. It can start generating content, di ba? You can just highlight a text and then prompt or give instructions to expand or summarize. We use Notion. Perplexity, if you want to do research, I love Perplexity, guys. Check out Perplexity AI. I love it so much because it's you can do research and then it has that citation as well. So hindi siya parang hallucination. It's actual content and vetted content siya. So aside from Perplexity, there's Gemini now. You can check it out. And for content creation, iba din yung content creation. You now have Midjourney, you have Sora for videos, and a lot more other tools. Grabe ngayon ang pace ng AI. It's quite fast. But I want to challenge the participants on our call, and I want to highlight this because last week I went to an AI panel, and then part daw ng research is they're running a research on which countries have adopted digital technologies and AI as well. So there's a conflicting research wherein they say the Philippines is at the top in AI adoption. But there are also other researches that would say di daw tayo adaptable to digital skills. So parang very conflicting. That's why etong part ng webinar natin, let's show them that we're actually using AI, that we know how to use AI, and we have the AI operators, AI empowered creatives in the industry. And so after this content strategy session, we have other sessions after this. We have a whole podcast series, and we're going to invite more speakers, more experts that can share their insights about using AI for now, specifically in marketing. So to wrap this up, Miss Celine, do you have any URLs, websites that you want us to check out, maybe your own platform? And yeah, of course, before that, I'd like to encourage everyone to check out our tools and our startup as well, DashoContent. DashEd is our education arm. Dasho AI is our tool, AI tool. And then Dasho Work, for those who are looking for gigs in content creation, you can also join us via Dasho Work. So back to you, Miss Celine. Last words and for us to check out your profiles as well. Andiyan pa ba si Miss Celine? Parang nag-freeze. Sige, Miss Charlene muna. Do you have any last reminders or last words for our participants and our listeners as well?
Yeah, I guess thank you everyone for coming today. I shared I shared our websites that you guys can visit. Like Miss Flair said, we are doing, this is just the first of many. This is the first of many webinars slash podcast episodes. So in order to get updates, you can follow the Wicked Thoughts podcast on Facebook, and then also DashoContent on Facebook. Yeah, and I think we're gonna keep doing it this way. We'll have a live audience, and then after that, you can we'll be publishing it, of course, as a podcast, as a Wicked Thoughts podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and then also as a YouTube video. So if we did have, for example, today we had some visuals. So instead of sending you guys the slides, you can just check it out on YouTube as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess to wrap it up, since it's already 3, thank you so much for joining Dash Ed and Wicked Thoughts webinar. Thank you again to our participants and to our guests, Ms. Celine Francisco, for coming over and sharing with us your ideas, your thoughts on content strategy. So see you again next time for the next recording and episode of Dash Ed and Wicked Thoughts. Thanks, everyone.
And that was the latest episode of Wicked Thoughts. Make sure to subscribe and join the host on The Wicked at thewckd.com. Thank you to our sponsors, the company Cebu, Third Team Media, Dasho Work, Dasho AI, and DashoContent, a content team for your marketing department. Tune in for more wicked conversations right here at Wicked Thoughts.